Welcome back, everybody. My name is Grace or Gibby, whatever you prefer. And today we're talking about the gold and token donation items that just came out. I've got the gold Misc weapon and shield, normal element, which is available to everyone, new or old players. And I've also got the alternate element, the Nightfall version, which are now the correct color. Can scratch that off the bug list. Anyways, so we're going to be talking about the weapons mostly. Going to spend a moment talking about the shields, but really not too long because I find them a little less interesting. And then a quick moment talking about the Miscs. But the short, if you want the very, very short version, is the heroic Titan weapons. All inflict burn and all inflict prismatic burn. And they all cost a boatload of SP and built-in armor damage. So if you see, I'll attack with, I'll attack with this magic weapon which doesn't pay a damage penalty. I do about 150, and I should do significantly less with the, actually it's just the magic weapon that doesn't pay damage because it's a spell booster, so it doesn't pay basic attack damage. But look, pay 50% weapon damage and SP. So you do way less damage with these weapons when you're attacking, but you can inflict massive statuses. So massive burn statuses, and they all have like little things to trigger into massive prismatic burn. This one inflicts permanent burns until they get too strong, and then it inflicts prismatic burn and auto hits, which is sweet. And that's the melee. The ranged can inflict normal burn, or it can inflict mana burn. And if you're fighting a foe with 0 mana, adding a Titan's Fire on your foe's flesh. I gotta see what this does, or I'll just miss both hits. Anyways, this one inflicts a mana burn, the ranged weapon. Ranged weapon is a big sword. Probably not the first time that's happened. But let's see if we burn his mana. Maybe I didn't toggle it right. There we go. And there we go, we're burning his mana. And once he loses mana, we do more burn. The weapons are all a bit buggy on release, so I'm not really going to showcase most of them. Like it might still be here, the dev bonus. Let me see. There was a bonus where the proc for the weapons was multiplied by 10. It was supposed to be 5%, but it was 50%, and it like literally said in the battle log, dev bonus. Shout out to Tiny Biggs. Shout out to Biggs. Anyways, lots of bugs on release, but the main gist of it is the heroic Titan weapons, massive burn, massive prismatic burn, melee has a permanent burn, ranged has a mana burn, magic has on spell cast burn. Massive resource cost for melee and ranged, massive outgoing damage cost as well. So really status weapons, probably not for your weapon based skills. You're trying to nuke the pants off someone, not the goal. The shields are very simple. If you remember, let's see, what's a small weapon? Close enough. If you remember the recent shields that just came out where you pay SP and then when you get hit something happens, these shields are exactly that. You pay like not quite 100 SP. They hit you, they get prismatic burned. It goes off the monster's hit count, so if they hit you once, small prismatic burn. If they hit you 4 times, big prismatic burn. Very simple. Nice shields, good to inflict prismatic burn passively without needing your player attack. I think that's really going to come in handy for a few situations. I might actually use it for a guide on the necromancer level 20 quest boss. Could be a fun time. We'll see. But that's what the shields do. Prismatic burn on being struck for a moderate but not huge SP cost. And the Misc. So what it does is it gives you burn and prismatic burn bones. Not sure if that's actually true. Might be bugged, but it's supposed to. It also gives you fire resistance, and you can heal when you hit burning foes. The heal is based off your hit count, so let's go into, I don't know, H series. Do I still have that dex boost? Yeah, so I won't miss. But let's use, I don't know, ranged weapon. And if I use the rockets, I should get 4 hits of healing, although I might not be able to see it because my HP is already close to full. But yeah, you would have seen 4 hits of healing. You know, we'll just do it one more time, but with a little bit less HP. Should be 4 hits. We can check the battle log after too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's see if the heal is exactly the same time. Yep, it looks like it's heals 40 HP per hit if the foe is burned. That number might change a tiny bit. Don't worry about it too much. I don't have end. That would probably improve it a little. Anyways, you get a medium kickback heal if you hit a burning foe based off hit count from the Misc. Also defensive, and the access for everyone version is fire, shield, weapon, and Misc, and the access for gold winners is dark. Again, Misc, weapon, and shield. So that's that for the community events. The weapons are all gorgeous. Some people have said the flames need to be animated. Personally, I like to run the game higher than 5 FPS, and my little MacBook that could probably can't handle it if they're animated. But jokes aside, would be cool if they're animated, but I love the way they look now, so I'm really not too worried about it. The color scheme, you can see the 2 color schemes. I haven't bought all the fire ones yet because I have like 100 weapons in my vault and 170 in my inventory, but that's my issue. Next, we'll go to the token donations. So, we've got the token donation weapons. Actually, I'll start with the shield, because that was the easiest. Autumn Spite. This thing, very simply, it gives you 10% damage reduction if the foe is burning, and 20% damage reduction if the foe has a wind burn, specifically. Normally it pays 3 MRM to give you that trigger, but if you get the trigger, you get the 3 MRM back indirectly through a blind. Not relevant. Gives you free damage reduction if the foe is burned, or prismatic burned, I believe. Let me double check that. Probably not on prismatic burn, I was mistaken, but any burn, you get that minus 10 damage reduction, and because the melee weapon now gives a permanent burn, you can get this pretty easily. The thing is, this competes directly with the Madam Barrier, which is a wind shield, which is really good, and it can toggle into higher blocking mode or flat damage reduction mode, and basically it has a 5% MC to either blocking or damage reduction, and then it also gets 15% more by trading one for the other. So in the blocking mode, you take more damage. In the damage reduction mode, you have lower blocking. So by the numbers, this shield gives you more defensive power than Madam, but only if you're like both dodging and getting hit. If you're just getting hit, Madam will be better or equal without the hassle of the trigger. And if you are only blocking, then of course Madam will be better because it has that blocking shield utility. But by the numbers, this is better if you're just in a normal fight and you're not like super low MRM or super high MRM. This trigger will defend you better than Madam will. That being said, is that really a reason to carry it? Probably not for most people, but I might use it. If they make it work with Prismatic Burn and then get the double trigger, because Prismatic Burn deals wind damage, that would be kind of fun. Don't think they'll do that, but it could be fun. And then I'd use it because Shen Ya is permanent, awesome, free to play. Permanent Prismatic Burn armor. Anyways, shield is okay, but outcompeted by a better option most of the time. Weapons. So here are the weapons. First of all, they're gorgeous. Like, look at this magic rapier. Look at this ranged bow. And look at this melee sword. I like them all very much. I really like them. I think they look gorgeous. And what they do is they give you a guaranteed paralyze based off of your hits. So if you hit both hits, you get a guaranteed paralyze. It is based off wind resistance. I'm not sure if that's intended because it's currently buggy in the way it works. Like if you attack a foe with low wind resistance, it'll inflict a turn 0 paralyze, so it just doesn't do anything. And if you attack a high foe, it takes 2 turn paralyze. Anyways, might be intended to be based off wind res, might not be. Can't say at the moment. Maybe I'll update it in the description, but realistically, hey, I'm a relaxed guy, I probably won't. But guaranteed paralyze, barring really weird circumstances. It's a minus 50 save. They're probably going to update it to be auto-inflict. They might not. Again, who cares? Same difference unless you're doing unbeatables or low-level challenges. And then the second one is you inflict a massive wind burn. And by massive, I mean power 5 for 3 turns, but because this is the magic one, I think... You know what? That's odd. It's supposed to be power 5 for 3 turns. Maybe it's power 5 for 3 turns for the bow and not for the melee and magic. Either way, about power 5 for 3 turns. So a lot of burn power, but not a crazy amount. Well, it is a pretty crazy amount, but we've gotten bigger items in the past recent history, like the Nail of the North Pole. Anyways, big wind burn and big guaranteed stun. Very good weapons. The stun might be up for some changes. The stun might be up for some nerfs. The wind burn shouldn't be changed or shouldn't be changed much. The shield probably won't be changed much either. The Misc, it's a earth wind compression Misc. It gives strength and end and inflicts a burn, a wind burn. Pretty boring, pretty plain, but if you bought it, you got it. I did not because I wasn't dumping out 100k tokens for that thing. Glad I didn't, is what it is. But anyways, so those are all the weapons, and what I'm going to do is, I'm not unfortunately going to test these on real bosses, but I am going to show you my 2 favorite synergies, and that is going to explain the clickbait for this video. The first is going to be Spell Slinger's necromancer, or just any necromancer of course, with the magic weapon. So what I'm going to do is make sure the weapon is toggled on, so pay 392 SP to attempt prismatic burn with darkness spells. And so 392 SP is a ton of resources, kind of hard to keep that up all the time. But what I'm going to do to manage that is I'm going to use a really cheap spell to deal dark damage with. Now, there are many options to really cheap damages, really cheap MP cost spells. There are not that many that are free to play. There are about a bunch of token items. There are a couple free to play. Precise Haunting is one. So let's do that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More than 4 hits, so we get all 4 parts of the prismatic burn. Don't look at the prismatic burn numbers now because I'm not sure they're balanced correctly. But Haunting is a very reliable source, and for 261 MP, very good, very cheap. Want to go even cheaper though? We can do Grasp Essence. Free, it counts as a spell, and it has 4 hits, so it inflicts the full prismatic burn for no MP resources. Want to take it even further? Say you're using Essence Orb to fuel that massive SP cost for the prismatic burn. You can then use Consume Fear to heal back that HP to use Essence Orb more and inflict more prismatic burn. Very cool, I very much enjoy that. What I didn't mention is that these weapons inflict prismatic burn 1 out of 3 turns and inflict the elemental burn the other 2 turns, but that seems to be working potentially improperly at the moment, so I'm not going to comment on it too much, but just know you won't be able to inflict a prismatic burn every turn. You'll inflict an elemental burn 2 out of 3 turns, or 3 out of 3 maybe if they add a toggle. That's not really a bad thing because you need to attack with a spell of that element anyways to get the trigger. So like you don't want to be attacking something that's strong against dark with this weapon because you'll have to use a dark spell and it won't be much. But then again, if you wanted to in Necro, you totally could because it's free, Grasp Essence. So like, hey, you've got options. But what I really wanted to showcase is the fire weapon. Now you might have just got a teaser, but I'm going to pretend you didn't see that. Let's go to Lunan Echo because I like the way this armor looks, no real reason. Fire magic weapon. SP cost toggle for prismatic burn on fire spell cast on, and guess what I'm going to use? It's not Drop the Mope because Drop the Mope wipes your SP bar and then you can't pay the SP for the weapon because the SP for the weapon is paid after the first hit of the spell. So Drop the Mope removes your SP so you can't pay the SP bar. I thought you might be able to do it. Unfortunately, you cannot. What you can do is use Draconan's Fury. Now Draconan's Fury costs 123 MP if you're at full HP. And it's 3 hits, so you get more than you pay for the prismatic burn. Not quite all you could because it's capped at 4 hits and it's expected to be 2 hits, so you're getting 150% rather than 200%. But if you're full HP, which let's just wait a second and drink a health potion. That didn't even... Wow, okay. If you're full HP with the Draconan's Fury, it costs 130 MP. So the main issue I see with these weapons is that they're super high upkeep, and then on top of that you have to cast a spell to get the effect, so that's even more resources. But Draconan's Fury is so cheap, and it scales off of your HP. So high HP, super cheap, low HP, super expensive. But because mages have so many barrier abilities, like Necromancer, like say, I forgot to bring it, but the Crystal Mana Shield, which gives you a barrier on spellcast. Say, Insightful Armor of Awe, Shield of Insight. I already have a Mana Shield from the Necro Barrier. Anyways, not relevant. There are so many ways to stay full HP on a mage, especially a beast mage. Got your baby egg down there. That you can get this 123 MP cost spell. So the only resource you're bleeding out is your SP, which you're still bleeding out a lot of SP. But to put it in context, instead of paying like 300% melee in resources, so like 653 MP plus 392 SP, you're only paying 392 SP and then that 123 SP MP from the Draconan's Fury. So it's a huge resource cut to inflict that massive prismatic burn, way cheaper than the other options, which is really cool. Finally, maybe you're not skilled enough to keep your HP topped up all the time as a mage. I'm just messing with you. There are many situations in which you can't have your HP full. That being said, if you really want to, you can do it. But Draconan's Fury might not be for you if you're not willing to go through those barriers, mana shields, etc. But there is another. As Yoda said, love Yoda. Frost Elf Strike. Now, this is a level 10 Z token spell, and it's a auto hit fire spell that does 4 hits. Why on earth would you use a level 10 Z token spell in your spell inventory to deal fire damage? The thing is, it will activate the spell trigger, and because the spell trigger is based off hit accuracy, this thing's auto hit, all 4 hits are going to hit. So you are going to pay 53 MP. Wait, is that even right? 53 MP. Not a lot of MP. You're going to pay 53 MP, inflict the full value of the prismatic burn or the elemental burn, depending on what you want, and you're basically just paying SP for the effect, not paying any MP, because 53 is next to nothing. So Draconan's Fury is a spell that I think is actually good and meta for things other than just using spell type effects. This Frost Elf Strike token spell, 400 tokens for the level 10 version, this is the absolute cheapest you are going to get until we get a built-in free fire spell. We do have one on the Dreamweaver armor, which is, I believe, free and restores your mana. But I don't believe it's the right hit count. Let's go and test that, though. Okay, moment of truth. How many hits is this? It's only 1 hit, so you don't want to be using Dreamweaver, even though it is free. And Spellcaster Lean and fun and silly. So you do want to be using either Draconan's Fury for that 123 MP cost, or you want to be using the Frost Elf Strike lowest level Z token spell version for the auto hit and 4 hits. Both of these will give you super efficient, massive prismatic burn infliction, and it's just wicked. It's just nuts. The reason I put that silly thumbnail, by the way, is because a while ago I said one day, I made a video on it, I'll link it here, but I said one day Draconan's Fury is going to be absolutely meta for fire spell casting, because you'll be able to use a strong status cutlass, which this basically is. Strong status cutlass to inflict massive status with a really cheap MP cost, and that's what this is. This is my dream come true for fire spell casting. It's just awesome. It's free to play, accessible. It's no quest requirements because it's in the Ballyhoo contest shop. To end out the video, that's where I'll go, the Ballyhoo contest shop, just to show you how to get there if you haven't used it before, say. But overall, very cool items. They may be up for some small adjustments here. Go to the contest section, go to Heroic Titan, not too crazy. You can buy all 3, weapon, shield, and misc, and the faces too, which I actually haven't looked at, but I don't really like them personally, just for me though. I really like these weapons. I really like the shields, both of them, despite the hate on the wind one. I think it's a nice defensive shield for defensive play efficiently. And I think the miscs are a little boring, but good. That's all for today. Draconan's Fury stays on top. Mages stay on top. Also, I forgot to mention the 2 magic weapons also give you plus 20% spell damage. Might be buffed to 25% in the near future. We'll see. Which is nuts. Anyways, peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to make a video actually using these items in combat soon. Should be a good time. Should have some fun with it. We'll see how it goes. See you all later. Bye-bye.